Hola chicos, aquí tengo el video de vocabulario para Unidad 3, Lección 1. Before we get started, I'd like to say Feliz Año Nuevo, Happy New Year. One of the things we do every New Year is we kind of think about having a fresh start or a clean slate. This really applies to you as a high school student because you have a brand new semester ahead of you. So a lot of people set personal resolutions like eat better or be more healthy, exercise more, things like that. Really what I would like for you to do is let's set some realistic resolutions or some goals for ourselves. So what I'd like you to do is I have a list here that if you look at the beginning of each letter, it spells out swirls. So really all of these kind of include the different modes to learning another language. So obviously the first step of it is studying the material, be it vocabulary, grammar, whatever, in order to be successful with it. The next one's writing the material is going to help you commit it to memory. So the more you write it and practice it, you'll have a better understanding. Interaction is really important with foreign language because we need to use the language to speak it and interact with people, because that's really the purpose of another language, is to communicate. Reading it, as the more you read the language, you'll understand the vocabulary and you'll comprehend it and what the message of the text is. And I'd also like you to listen when you don't have a visual text in front of you, but just mainly listening for comprehension as another goal. All of these things are going to lead you to being able to speak more Spanish. So the more you study, the more you write, the more you interact and read and listen, the more you're going to find yourself being able to speak Spanish more confidently. So a personal goal for me is I'm going to be speaking more in Spanish in order to give you the opportunity to listen more. We'll be doing obviously more activities with reading and writing, but these videos are to help you study. So the more you study these, the better you're going to feel about interacting and communicating in class. So one of your goals as you watch these is I'd like you to repeat. Repetition is key to learning new vocabulary. Alright, so we noticed that those all spelled out swirl, so we're going to swirl our way to success. So like I said, all of those things are kind of interconnected. The more you do those, the more you're going to find yourself at the center of your goal. So instead of just getting like a 6 out of 10 on a quiz or a 7 out of 10 on a quiz, I want you to really shoot for that, doing all those steps in order to find yourself really getting to the heart of the goal. Alright, speaking of goals, in Spanish we know these as metas, las metas. So our 3 goals for this chapter are, we're going to talk about clothing, shopping, and personal needs. We're going to learn how to say who things are for, and finally we're going to learn how to express our opinions. Vamos a empezar con el vocabulario. Aquí tengo el vocabulario para hablar de compras, shopping. Empezamos con la ropa. La ropa is clothing. On your notes, I'd like for you to fill that out as you watch the video. So if you will record the Spanish phrase for each of the English words you have listed. El abrigo. El abrigo is coat. Please pause and repeat the words as well. El abrigo. Las botas. Las botas. As you record the word, say it out loud a few times. Las botas. El chaleco, el chaleco. El cinturón, el cinturón. La falda, la falda. La gorra, la gorra. La pulsera, la pulsera. El reloj, el reloj. Las sandalias, las sandalias. El suéter, el suéter. El traje, el traje. De cuadros. These phrases are going to be to describe clothing, so either the style, the fit, or the fashion. De cuadros is plaid, so cuadro is a square, so a plaid pattern is a bunch of repetitive formations of squares. De cuadros. De rayas would be just striped, so a striped shirt. De rayas. Estar de moda. Estar de moda is to be in style. El número. El número tiene dos significados. Número can be a number. In this case, I'm saying el número. I'm referring to the size, the shoe size, because we know shoe sizes indicate a certain number. Similar to that, we have not necessarily a number, but more of a size. So in some countries, they do them as a number. So like you have your inseam is like so many inches. But we typically have our sizes in small, medium, large, etc. This is known as la talla. La talla. Think of like a tailor is somebody who helps make something fit to size. La talla. Vestirse. Vestirse es un verbo, to get dressed. Notice it's a reflexive, so it's got that se at the end. I take that off and put it at the beginning. We learned that last semester, so we'll practice that again. So I would say me visto. It is a stem changer. That E changes to I. Como me queda? Or if I'm talking about like shoes or something plural, I would say como me quedan. How does it fit? Quedar is the verb to fit. I will use this with an adjective. Bien. Mal. Flojo or floja. Depends on what I'm describing. If it's a suit that's too big or too loose, I would say un traje flojo. If I was talking about, let's say, a shirt that's too tight, I would say una camisa floja. For example, this camisa no es floja, es apretada. Apretado or apretada means too tight. All right, we're getting into the different places we shop. A little bit different from our culture to Spanish culture is there tend to be more individual stores. In our culture, over time, we've seen that we like everything kind of to be together. So we have more department stores, or we have stores that kind of contain not just a single grocery store, but it's like a Target where it's a grocery and it has appliances and clothing kind of all together. So almacén would be department store. La farmacia. Our pharmacies are a little bit more than pharmacies here. We also can buy lots of other items there. In Spanish-speaking cultures, it's typical to see just a shop dedicated to one thing. Internet. La librería. La panadería. La zapatería. If I want to say that something's open or closed, it depends on the type of store. So I'd say la panadería está abierta. If I was referring to the almacén, which is masculine, I would say el almacén está abierto. Same thing with closed, está cerrado or está cerrada, depending on the type of shop I'm referring to. Finalmente, vamos a expresar opiniones y preferencias, so preferences and opinions. Creo que sí. I think so. Creo que no. I don't think so. En mi opinión, es buena idea. O es mala idea. Me parece que encantar is to delight. Importar, to be important. Interesar, to interest. Y finalmente, recomendar. This is another stem changer. All right, make sure you have your vocab list filled out so that we can do some practice activities in class. Muchas gracias y por favor, practica el vocabulario. Adiós.